think getting sober and doing rehab.
How's that going for them?
I don't know, but I always think, well, what's that going to do for me? Because
everyone you know are just your red flags, because everyone I know seems to be hanging out with us doing drugs.
Yeah, just my red flags.
So do you need a new set of red flags, or
which
what?
you have to look at? I guess you have to look at that. You have to be supportive. Like when your red flags are like seeing their red flags and trying to better themselves, it is your job to be like, yeah, great. But then you're kind of like, all right, now, so wait, from alcohol, right? Like, like everything? Like, that's what I always just need to know is like, how sober are you? Like, because what's your vice, right? Like, that's a very LA way to think. It's like, well, what's your vice? Because sober is different for a lot of people. I mean, Drew Barrymore doesn't call herself an alcoholic because she said she's never gone to the AA. You know what I mean? And she had a bout with booze just as soon as recently as 2016. And if Drew's a drunk, but I'm here for people getting off booze. Like, I'm like, no, I get it. I see your alcoholism. Like, trust me, I'm very aware of your alcoholism. I know that's destructive to your body. But I'm like, you can still take acid, right?
Yeah, I mean, acid is
that's not a drug. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's from the earth. Well, it's made in a lab.
That's mental health. Fuck mushrooms. I don't care. Like, we'll even do mushrooms. It's fine. I don't give a shit. But like,
yeah, I don't care if you're sober. We just have to do mushrooms.
Well, I mean, there's sober, but there's still the need to be altered. It's like, listen, let's not get these two things confused. I feel like let's be grown-ups here. All right. What makes you stand on the table with your skirt above your head? That is the important question.
Well, what if they're like, come?
What do you mean?
What if they're like, I am addicted to cum and I'm allowing myself to still be into that? So I'm going to make weird decisions.
Well, that's a slippery slope because that gets into yucking someone's yum, and we're not supposed to do that as sexually progressive people. We're supposed to be like, oh, if you're addicted to cum, that's fine. You can be addicted to cum. That's just sex.
But what if cum has some weird altering state on them, and it makes them like get on top of a table and pull their skirt up over their head at a party at the White House? And you're like, what was wrong with you? I had too much cum.
Respect.
Why'd you have that much cum before you went to the White House?
I mean, I just always think back of like, I've never met someone who loves cum so much. Stay with me. That loves cum so much.
How much do they love cum?
That they would be like that woman in Intervention who had the retail job store, or she had the retail job. And she would go back and make trips back to her car and drink airport vodkas and come back and just be getting blatantly drunker. And her friends knowing it's happening. I've never seen a cum dump like that. Cum dumps are contained. They usually get hotel rooms.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
And they wear those support hosieries because they don't want the chafing
from their knees.
Yeah, and thighs, however they're getting banged. I don't know what cum dumps do, honey. That's not my kink.
What's your kink? Let's do a show. Let's just start the show.
I thought we were. Oh shit, we were doing a show within a show within a show.
Yeah,
we should do a show. Like, Fortnite has an update. I'd like to play some video games. I don't care what you think. Hold on, let me get my timer. All right, so I'm going to give us a little countdown. All right, so like a 4, a 3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gay Power Half Hour, the only gay podcast on the internet with two gay hosts who are just like the opinion hosts at Fox News because we hate Donald Trump. And privately, we also hate most of our listeners and viewers, with your hypocritical homosexuals, Casey Lai and
hi, bow tie wearing Tony Soto right here. Remember that Tucker Carlson?
Yeah.
Remember Crossfire Tucker Carlson? Like when you're like, who is this like chub? Who's this chub in this bow tie that accentuates the chub, arguing back and forth with this old man? We were talking about Jon Stewart before we started recording, and so remember when he fucking slayed on that show? When
he destroyed Crossfire.
He called them buffoonery. He called them theatrics. He called them crazy. I mean, but now, listen, now he gets fucking exclusive tapes from the non-insurrection, the fun little tourist romp, as he likes to say, directly from the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, I mean, it pays to be a fascist tool.
Isn't he the heir to the turkey? Isn't he the heir to Tyson?
I don't know. Heir to Tyson Turkey? I mean, sure, that makes sense.
No, Tucker Carlson comes from money.
The bow tie that he's been wearing since he was 11 years old shows that he comes from money. I went to boarding school, as you know, and he looks like most of the douchebags that I went to school with. I'll tell you
Tucker
that.
Carlson.
Are you looking up whether he's Tyson? Do this before the show.
I want to know if he's from money. You know what I mean? He is from
money. Look at him. His name is Tucker Carlson.
All, look at how quickly I did that. And it's
are you using Chat GPT?
Listen, but we should, because I know. Well, listen, I have yet to use it. Is that just open to anybody? Are you on Bing?
I mean, you can access Bing, but no, I don't have the new Bing.
Anyway. Tucker's from money. He doesn't. This is just how you know America's getting so much stupider. Is like they want so badly to relate to people that are not even within their like scope. Truthfully, everyone who goes to I would love to see how Trump reacts at one of his own rallies if he didn't have that space between the podium and all of his followers, because he doesn't like those people. He doesn't like those stupid, gross people. He doesn't want this. I mean, you saw that he fucking fat shamed the mayor of East Palestine when he was like, oh, how could you miss him?
Tucker Carlson said that?
No, Trump.
Oh, and Trump said that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, and then they look at Tucker for some reason because Tucker asks questions. He doesn't say anything. He just asks questions. That's his fucking thing. But he asks them in a way that a racist could be like, oh yeah, I hate black people.
Yeah, this is it. And I guess when the question is, do you hate black people?
Yeah, he's like would you really want, like, is it wrong to hate the fact that you don't want black people living in your neighborhoods?
No, he's right. It's not wrong.
Like, no, it isn't wrong.
Yeah,
I should be able to have pride in my Targets and my Walgreens. Yeah. I don't want them burned down by Antifa.
Yeah, I don't want any new black people driving their RVs into my RV neighborhood and like settling up. I mean, we could just drive out of there if we wanted to, but I mean that ain't we ain't got no money for no gas. I hate them all. I mean, if you've been paying attention to the news, Fox News is in a little bit of deep hot water because various emails and text messages were unleashed during a defamation lawsuit, $1.6 billion defamation lawsuit brought by Dominion Voting, whatever, machine box. And turns out Fox News super scared of losing viewers, so scared enough that it will unsurprisingly just lie to everyone. I mean, that's
they're not going to lose. There's not going to lose viewers because they don't talk about they're lying. It's not like it's not like they're reporting on their lying. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they're not like, oh, hey, by the way, we're in deep trouble with Dominion right now. Oh, and BT Dubs, fucking Tucker Carlson is a known liar and doesn't believe anything he's fucking saying.
Well, two things. I mean, one, they were worried about losing viewers after the 2020 election because of telling the truth to their audience. They were worried that's what's going to lose the audience. And also, actually, during this giant news story that everyone else is reporting on, the guy who has the job at Fox for like reporting on the news has been like, yeah, they're not letting me report on this. So that is what is happening at the world's #1 news source, cable news network, Fox News. It is all crazy. And plus Tucker Carlson is getting the footage from Kevin McCarthy for the January 6th insurrection, the behind the scenes, the BTS footage, and editing it to make it look like a walk in the park at a picnic day.
I just feel like there is like picketable things happening, like protestable things, I think, are happening. So much, in fact, that Florida has made it so that, like, if a person feels threatened by a protester, they can run them over with their cars and shit.
Yeah.
So like, and it's like, listen, there are drafts of different Florida laws that are happening in states across America, all the fucking red, gross states you don't want to live in, from their, trans bullshit to their book bullshit, all that fucking shit. And I think like the mention of fascist this, fascist that has been like happening so much. And I know that it's been happening for so long that we're kind of dead to it, but it's right here now. It's literally right here now in every state, in every different way possible, from trans rights to, abortion rights and beyond. That, like, why aren't we out there fucking trying to protest more? Like, what is?
Well, because it's a lot of that stuff America is America, and so it takes like, there's enough comfort that until it's like really things are really up in your face or really enacted hard, then do people start to protest. But but that's also the luxury of living in a place where things are generally better than a lot of other places, although that's fastly becoming more of a mirage than anything else. Well, but that's what I mean. And so I think, it is scary. A lot of these laws that we're talking about are proposed laws, but there are things that are in action. I mean, let's look at fucking abortion,
Yes, there are women who are currently suing the state of Texas because they were not allowed to have ultimately abort our babies that were going to be terminal. They were not allowed to abort those babies.
They had to carry their dead babies or their ticking time bomb babies to term. And
all the while putting their life in risk.
Yeah,
they could have got sepsis. They could have died from as a result anyway. And those are the lives that we don't care about. Let's not forget that Tennessee has officially put in the drag ban, which is honestly a fucking transphobic law that is just guised in with entertainers to make it Hollywood. Jim Crow is coming back in Mississippi. Mississippi literally wants to segregate schools again and make it okay for that to be a thing. And back to Tennessee, they bring up someone was talking about bringing lynching back when they brought back capital punishment. They want lynching from tree to be brought back.
Do they want lynching or do they want hanging? I'm not that it matters, but I mean, it's like lynching is extra legal.
Well, you can say, well, what's the difference? Like, what can you say? They said hanging or lynching, but you know what? They're the same fucking thing.
No, killing someone, a death penalty via hanging is not a lynching. A lynching is when a mob of people get together and don't actually have a trial.
Well, then they must have said hanging. But you know what?
Still,
yeah, who they're after in Mississippi. It's it's not white folks, all right? And don't think there's not going to be a crowd around it when it happens.
No, I mean.
Well, let's not. Yeah, let's not.
But I guess to be clear, I also want to be. When we're talking about, getting the facts straight, I do want to get the facts straight when it comes to lynching, because lynching has never been hanging.
Facts are pretty straight there, because they have their prisons are our corporation system. So look, slavery is live and well in fucking Mississippi, and to me, it will be a lynching if that becomes on the books, because don't think that's gonna. But don't you get to choose your own? Don't you get to choose how you die? Like, isn't that
no,
your
because
choice?
I think that's like a
Like,
military tribunal, or if there's various ways to do it. They've
because I
taken
wouldn't do
away.
the lethal. The lethal to me, you're alive. You're alive.
I'm a firing squad kind of guy. I mean, I want the guillotine. Bring back the guillotine. It's quick.
I've read too many I've gone down too many black holes about lethal where it's like literally you just suffocate to death, but you're perfectly aware that you're suffocating to death. And that frightens the fuck out of me because they don't really got the fucking mix right. You know, yeah, shoot me.
Wow.
Shoot me.
Well,
or electrocute me, old fashioned me. You know what I mean? I'll take
I don't want my head to catch on fire.
Well, they won't if they put the little red fucking thing on it. Have you ever seen Green Mile? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but just like the lethal injection, it doesn't always go the way you plan. I want a firing squad. Shoot me in the heart. Or the guillotine. Cut off my head, clean as a whistle.
I don't want to jerk.
And then blow me.
Sick.
Toot. But no, I don't think you get to choose because most states only have like one like allowable. If they do have the death penalty, they only have like one allowable way of doing it, and normally it's usually allegedly the most humane way is lethal injection. But apparently that just suffocates you while you live, and also it can be hard to do.
Humane at all.
Death penalty is completely bullshit and it's super fucking racist and needs to be overturned. All that being said, in my mind, if there's someone who's clear, you know, it's a clear thing, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't care, just kill me." We should just kill him. We should hang him from a tree if that's what they want. You know, I don't give a fuck. But I
think only white people should be hung from trees.
Well, agreed. And I want to say this thing on Mississippi and the segregation of schools is like, how fucking insane is that? But if it does happen, I do hope like collectively as the right side of this union, we can just like maybe like privately start funding a lot of those black schools to do better than the white schools. Like that's my one hope is like if they're gonna force back into segregation, then maybe we can start putting.
I think that I think Mississippi's been their own fucking place for a long ass time. They've never turned around. They've always been fucking backwards. It's ugly through and through.
It's worse.
Yeah.
No, it's all. I mean, like in so many ways, it is really scary and getting worse. I mean, like I was just in enemy territory.
Yeah, you were just in Florida.
Not even a fun part. Jacksonville, a bad part. That's where DeSantis is from. He was born in Jacksonville, reared in Tampa.
It's Trumpy there.
Well, as they say in Florida, the farther south you go, the more north you get, or something like that. So, like when you're in northern Florida, you know you're in the south. It was, I was like there for a job. I did overhear people saying complete bullshit, scary things. But then, I had a conversation with a bartender about how to grow a pineapple, and it was nice weather. And I was like, okay, I can understand the allure if you don't have a thinking brain. And all you want to do is grow pineapples. But other than that, when you open up your eyes and your ears, you're hearing a lot of stuff that don't sit right. DeSantis is the leader.
Do they have unhoused people there?
I was on a resort. No, I don't. I mean, thank God. It's like,
waiter. I was at a resort.
Well, what am I supposed to say? I was
working.
You want me to lie and say, "Oh yes, oh no"? Oh, you say, "Oh, I wandered the streets and it was full of unhappy people." No, I don't fucking know. I wasn't paying any attention to it. I thought
you'd leave. I thought you'd walk down the street. Jesus.
I tried. The resort goes on forever. It did. I tried to walk for a mile and I was still in this goddamn resort. Point is, that we are living in a country where increasingly the loudest, not in the majority, just the loudest is making demands that are, you said it, like pushing fascism. And it's not just like we call one thing, you're saying like, oh, well, we call this I know we call a lot of things fascism. All these things taken together, banning information, banning the teaching of facts, banning self-expression, banning speech, and selectively doing these things for selective groups of people.
Well, yeah, because
these are fascism.
These are when they are sitting here being like, everyone should have freedoms. We want our freedoms unless they're trans people, unless they're people of color looking, unless they're, and it's like, I just like these moms. And so when you were here, DeSantis, or when you were there, DeSantis was here.
Right.
DeSantis was given
well, we're not allowed to be in the same state at the same time.
I got it. Yeah, I figured. I was like, who would take over Florida if DeSantis was killed? If not Casey Lai.
Seriously.
But so he was sitting here basically being like, oh yeah, so your governor can't stop talking about my state, so I thought I'd come visit yours. And it's like you have no charisma, you are a joke, and your policies are literally your laws and your policies are fucking all getting sued. You know what I mean? They're like, everything that he's passing is going to be tied up in court, which is like not showing any success whatsoever. It's just damaging his state for the fucking current.
And and I don't know this for a fact, but I know that there was a lot of talk about how surprisingly integral the younger vote was in 2022, and like for the first time, like everyone's always talking about the youth vote, but the youth vote really did come out and push things over the top in a lot of places. And if the national Republican platform is going to be DeSantis's, which is anti-drag, anti-trans, anti-abortion, anti-education, I just feel like the kids are savvy enough these days to know what is going on. And I think that, and when it comes to these things that are really like in a lot of people's minds, like foundational to their understanding of what it means to live in a society they want to live in. Like, DeSantis coming here to talk to fucking a bunch of old fucking losers at the Reagan fucking library it does nothing to me. It's not scary to me, and honestly, I think like Gavin going after Walgreens and seeing Walgreens fucking stock drop immediately as a result of their decision not to fucking ship abortion pills shows that like I don't know, if you want to have a Gavin versus DeSantis off. I mean, I think for all of Gavin's faults, I feel like the kids are going to want to be on the side of the fucking abortion wanting, weed smoking fucking former bar owner rather than
we need a rebirth. We need a rebirth of the mom and pop pharmacy, and we need liberal yuppies to fucking start opening them. Like I don't know how you start. It's just like when places like Walgreens, because they bent to the wrong side. It's like, here's the thing.
Well, they're corporations.
Well, you said it. You said it earlier. You're like the minority. Like, they are just the loudest. Mm-hmm. And so when you bend to the loudest, but you find out the loudest doesn't have the numbers behind it to keep you in business. It was like when the Don't Say Gay thing happened in Florida. Disney was fine with it. Disney was fine with it. They were okay with the Don't Say Gay. They didn't say a fucking word until the gay Disney gays, which is a cult within itself. Those Disney gays were like, Disney, why are you being so silent about, do you know how much money we spend here? Because Disney thought they'd get conservative dollars. Do you think there are more conservative dollars than gay dollars out there in this goddamn country? Absolutely not.
No, we don't have kids to buy things for, so we buy all the Disney shit for ourselves.
Exactly. They redress those dolls over and over again. I have a friend who takes dolls there and photographs them at Disney. So Disney was like, oh, we can't be on your conservative side. And now they're paying as a result of that. So who gives a fuck about that shit?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, in the end, I think it is very, Jon Stewart, we're talking about him for a second, and not that he is part of the conversation in the way that he used to be, but he popped up because he had an interview with like an Oklahoma or Tennessee fucking conservative loser who was passing. He was challenging him on one of the, their attacks on trans and the ban on trans on drag shows. And, and the argument is well, so, and John's like, you're going after free speech, which you say you love free speech. Free speech is, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights is the most important thing to you guys. But there are conditions when it comes to the safety of children where things need to be, in your mind, amendments need to be curtailed, rights need to be curtailed. And always it's about saving children, so they don't give a fuck about rights when it and when it suits their fucking interests. And John Stewart made the point, you and I were talking about it, guns are the leading cause of death for children, the leading cause of death in this country, period.
Point blank.
Children.
Point blank. No, there's no other, there's no that is the fact right there.
Yeah. And when it comes to who's really fucking kids, who's really grooming and fucking kids, it is not drag queens. It is, wait for it, pastors and priests and uncles.
Listen, I don't know why everyone's acting brand new.
And fathers.
It's been said for many, many years, like, you are more likely to be sexually assaulted as a child within your family structure.
Yeah, and not by the gay fun uncle who everyone knows is gay, by the creepy religious fucking having motherfucking, pastor deacon.
Yeah, they're telling you to stay away from your funny uncle for sure, but like, just because, they're fabulous. But like, stay away from the guy who fucking wants you to stay over and pray afterwards. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's absolutely just so. No one wants to look at that, though. Like, no one wants to look at that, because that is counter to their whole narrative on why they're trying to do this oppression to begin with, because they're doing it under the guise of religion and their moral compass. Go ahead. All the while, we have the protests that are still happening in Iran with all the schoolgirls because of that young lady who was killed ages ago, it seems like now, for not wearing her hijab correctly. Mm-hmm. But now they're getting poison gassed, these fucking high school girls, these schoolgirls, under a whole other religious cult bullshit that is like, basically women just have to be like shapeless enigmas that move through space because because men are so tempted. Like, it's like why in every religion do they really fucking double down on that Apple nonsense? Like, they are really coming for like every time you hear in this country, like, it's like a girl is mistreated at school, it's like, well, what was she wearing? Oh, well, the boys will be distracted and it's like, no one ever talks about it. All stems to that Apple nonsense, girl. They don't like women. No one likes women. They are just not they are not an issue to anyone. And for that, like, I don't know why they save us so much in like elections and whatnot, especially women of color. I don't know why they save us. I don't know why they come out. I don't know why they turn out.
Well, women did cast us out of that garden that one time, and
that's what I'm saying. That Apple nonsense. I know. They love that. That is their that. But that can you?
And they stole our rib. They stole our ribs. We had 13 ribs.
Could you imagine if like the fucking thing that people liked about you the least is like just literal bullshit? It's like,
yeah, and as a result, spent years oppressing and beating us. I mean, not good. And also, I mean, this didn't happen recently, but the comparison of religious zealotry, to America is real. In Missouri, with a Republican religiously dominated like House or Senate, state house or whatever, they changed the dress code for women elected officials because their sleeves were too long or their sleeves were too short and they're showing too much skin.
I want it down to the fingertips.
Yeah, that's what
I want it to be hard for them to fucking hold forks too, because we don't need a meeting. We don't need these women chubbing out. We need them slender and fertile. And
and fertile.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you all this. The scariest looking people, and I know some of you are going to hate that I say this.
Are you about to be discriminatory based on the way people look?
I am generalizing Boots here, but I'm saying even down to your sweet, religious, loving grandmother who's always been so caring to you, listener. I know, old mammy, your favorite Grammy, your favorite whatever's loving the Lord. They're all a little creepy. They all are a little creepy. Like it's all a little glazed over look when they're trying to fucking recite the bullshit that they were indoctrinated with their whole fucking life. No one that is religious looks truly happy. They look weird. You know what I mean? You look creepy. Like when y'all worship and whatnot, and when because it's like you look silly. You know, you just look so silly, and then you want so much respect, and it's so annoying. It's so annoying that you want that because you fucking raise your hands up to nothing and do hibby jibby dances. It's so wild and it's weird and you're creepy, and we have to find some way to take away this fucking power that you're trying to get.
I mean, you know, it's just so annoying to me because, like, I could give fucking two shits what you do, what you believe in.
Do it all you want.
Do it all you want. But that's the thing is, like, don't you understand? Hold on. Don't you understand that you're just going to a fucking drag show? It's at church, but it's a drag show. Okay. It's the same goddamn thing. You throw your hands up, you have a good time, you dance a little bit, you look at all these people around you and you think, I would like to fuck that person maybe. You know what? You don't, because, you know, you're worried about you know, going to hell or whatever, and because it's your sister's wife or whatever, sister's husband. But still, you know, like, you do the same things. You go, you try to drink some wine, you try to have a good time, you try to
he brings his own smoke machine.
It's a drag show. Okay?
He brings his own smoke machine. He comes down rocking a smoker, being like, hamana, hamana, hamana,
glory unto me.
And you're all like, yes, up and down, kneel, up and down. You know, I
mean, it's like, imagine how wild you go when a drag queen does something like bring out a snake on stage. And that's the same thing at church. You bring out your snakes, you worship the snakes, you speak in the tongues, you cluck. You know, it's a drag show. you
know, Danny Francesi was at Learn the Words, bitch. This
sure was.
And he asked me to do a little fucking blurb that I guess he's gonna put on his Yas Jesus podcast. He was like, do you want to be on Yas Jesus podcast? I was like, do you really want an atheist drag queen to talk on your podcast? But it was only a little soundbite. And he was like, what is your message to the religious about drag? Or what would you like to say to them? And I was like, I would like to say the drag is none of your fucking business. Like, that, it is so off your fucking radar. Look, if you are a religious person and you are not looking at the fact that your teachers are fucking your kids under your fucking nose, just fucking them, bro. If you can't see that and you want to deflect and be like, drag, trans people, then you're lost already. I feel so bad for your kids because they're just going to continue to get fucked until they age out.
Yeah, I will say,
under the protection of the Lord.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, gay teachers know not to fuck their students, whereas all these straight women seem to just, you know, fuck their students. So don't blame us, blame women. Just kidding. What I really mean is, what was that thing? What were we talking about? We were talking about drag and religion. I had one thing and I forgot it because I went for that easy, stupid joke. Anyway.
See, that's what happens. Before we go, do you want to talk about the Americans that were killed in Mexico? Don't go to the border towns, everybody. Don't go to border towns for cosmetic surgery.
You go to Tijuana on a whim, so you go to border towns.
Yeah, but listen, the thing is like, I feel like, you know, listen, they had a pandemic too, and they're trying to bounce back from a pandemic too. Our country is still in shambles as a result of pandemic and like all of this nasty shit, and so they're the same, but. Like, yes, Tijuana was fun though then. I was there for Christmas. They weren't shooting then. But Matamoros, Mexico is different. Like, Matamoros, Mexico is different. Like, Tijuana is a border of California. You know what I mean? That's feels a little better to me than a border town on Texas. And
having
not
you
just
qualify.
Texas, like the fucking underbelly of Texas, like the fucking ooh you ugly Texas. So these people drove all the way from South Carolina down to Mexico, Matamoros. That's where they chose to go get. And I've been to Matamoros, and when I partied there, it was like 2000, and it was dodgy then. You know what I mean?
But I do want to just say this. I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, why would you go get your fucking medical procedure at a Mexican hospital? For two reasons.
Cosmetic
Hold on.
Surgery. Don't call it a medical procedure.
But two things. It's a cosmetic
surgery.
procedure, but one, agreed. And look, but those things are very pricey here. And two, as someone who has spent time with you in a Mexican hospital for a procedure, not cosmetic, but it was a very life-savingly good time. So I feel like people are like, ew, Mexican hospital. No, no, I know. I'm just saying, like
I don't think it would be. I don't think it'd be that
hospital.
good. I don't think it'd be that good now if I'm my Medi-Cal. You know what I mean? I don't think.
Well, you'd pay more. You'd pay.
Yeah, well,
but less than you'd pay here.
I'd die. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, well, we've come to the end of the show.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
No, I don't want to say anything except be safe out there. And when it comes to where you get to, thinking about maybe taking a spring break trip this spring, don't go to the enemy states. Don't go to states that are enacting fascist legislation against women and people who are part of the LGBT community. That's all I'm going to say right now.
And there's so many now that you shouldn't go to. But honestly, they're all ugly because they're all overly religious. And like I said just a few seconds ago, there's nothing scarier than the religious, than the devoted, the fucking believers. They are whack, bro.
I mean, even on the show Last of Us, in a zombie apocalypse, the creepiest ones are the God-fearing ones. They're the ones who are going to eat you.
And I don't want it to be twisted in any way. Like, I am absolutely talking about any and every and all people who believe in it, and any of it, and any kind of an it. You know what I mean? Like, unless you quiet, unless you do it like how you're supposed to do it, like fucking solemn and whatnot, just between you and whoever.
You can believe whatever you fuck. I don't give a fuck, and and you can also be attractive if that is the case. Just don't be hateful. I don't understand why it makes you hateful. Hateful is not a good look on anyone.
No, but even the friendly ones are kind of it's like there's something that's not back there. And listen, I have religious people in my life that I know that might be upset, but I need them to know it's them too.
Yeah.
Because when you start talking like that's me, if I was just sitting here being like, who I really dig is the Tooth Fairy, man. The Tooth Fairy is so fucking good prompt. Like, and you know what? Always consistent for $1. You can bet your life on it. You can have faith that you're gonna get at least $1 from that book. And someone's gonna be like, "Bitch, you sound whack." And it's like, okay, well, now replace that with Jesus. And how is that less whack? Y'all, if you like GPHH, this good old podcast, and you should go to our iTunes page and subscribe and rate the show and leave a comment about the show because it really does help. Oh wait, give us your social media, you dummy.
Worship us, tithe us. Casey Ley, Ley on Instagram. You can see me in Long Beach on March 22nd at Que Sera Bar for Bear City Show. You can see me on the 31st of March at the Hollywood Improv Lab and other shows to come. I know.
Honestly,
shows.
I didn't know that you actually had things to say. Wow.
Me neither until I booked them. So do that. Tony, how about you?
Well, guys, if you're in the Southern California area and you're looking for something to do on Hump Day, every Wednesday I am at Stash, West Hollywood, doing Battle Babies. The show is at 10 p.m. 6 drag performers End of the year $5,000 cash prize. Listen, it's camp, it's gay, I'm a mother, I'm an auntie, I'm a distant auntie, I'm married to your uncle, you know what I mean? Like we're not like related. Also on the Tony Soto Show on Instagram and TikTok, and if you want to follow my drag shit, it's Tony Soto Productions on Instagram. We'll be back again next week, right? Bye.
Yes.